Evil Squid Comics podcast. We are part of the Collector's Maze Network.
Don.
Scott.
Andrew.
I'm so ready.
Fishflies by Jeff Lemire.
Do we have to introduce ourselves?
No,
No,
we don't do that.
We don't do that no more?
No.
What the hell happened?
Fishflies by Jeff Lemire. What do you guys think?
Okay, Drew, thank you. Don, what do you think?
Yeah, it was, I liked it, so...
It's a great review. Well, I liked it.
No, I did. I'm sorry. I was, thinking about it because Drew had said something about if I don't do it, I'll forget what it's about. I read it, last night, and I still kind of forgot what happened.
There's a girl with a red jacket on that befriends a fly, right?
So, at the end, so here's what the book is about, basically. It starts out, there's 3 kids, they're in this town, there's these things called fishflies. Every summer or whatever, all these bugs come off the water and just infest everything, right? So they call them fishflies.
And they're so thick that, you're just walking through a parking lot and just going crunch with all these flies that are all over the place.
Right. So, the story is basically it starts out, there's these 3 kids, and they're going to a convenience store, and one of the kids walks in, and it's getting robbed at the time. And so the guy, I guess, it wasn't very clear, but it looked like the guy shot the kid. Yeah. I don't know why the hell he shot the kid.
I think he was nervous.
He was nervous.
Scared.
He was robbing a store.
Yeah.
A kid walks in.
I think he was also maybe a little high.
Yeah.
On some type of drugs.
So he shot the kid, and then he's on the run. He got shot too or something, right?
Yeah, I think
he got injured.
Injured as well.
He got injured, so he's on the run. He hides out in this place, and there's a girl, like an 8 or 9, 10-year-old girl.
And who finds him.
She finds him, and she holds him up in a back barn or something at her house.
Yeah.
And then he turns into a bug.
He starts slowly turning into
He slowly turns into a bug.
I guess not that slow. He turns pretty fast.
Yeah. And so he's a bug. And so then she's trying to get away from her life.
Yeah, because her dad's kind of a drunk, a jerk, and
her
abuses
mom,
her. Her mom's
left?
gone somehow.
And so she befriends this thing.
And they
this
kind of
creature
run off, get on the run together, right?
Yeah,
right.
They have some connection there a bit. She's protecting him, hiding him, and he tries to protect her in kind. And since she's such kind of this outcast between school and has a crappy home life to boot, that this was really the only friend.
So basically, this criminal who's kind of regretful for his decision, this girl who's kind of lost, they kind of hook up together, be friends, kind of run off.
Meanwhile, the police, though, are looking for
the police are looking for the guy because he robbed a convenience store and shot a kid. And the kid is in the hospital close to death.
Yep.
So then it takes a turn.
Then it goes kind of supernatural.
Kind of supernatural and kind of weird. So I was wondering, I didn't go back and look, but did either of you,
It's witchcraft.
No, the tarot reader or whatever.
Yeah, she's from Minor
Arcana.
Arcana.
Is she the lady from Minor Arcana?
Yeah, totally. She's the mom.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I looked back. No,
Did you?
Oh, it is.
I
Okay,
went
back
so
and
these are
looked.
tied together.
Okay, same
in
universe.
sort of a Tarantino kind of way.
Okay. Well, but they're the same character. Are
Same
they in
character.
The same town?
I don't know. Maybe
right.
It must be because she's in this town.
Yeah,
maybe
but
it's not to say that she didn't move.
But this town is sort of but she had the shop. Remember, that's where.
So-
That's true. So there is something a little supernatural about this place.
Well, yeah, they go into the woods and there's all these weird
Some
markings
markings
on the trees and some weird stuff on the ground. And we find this old couple. Well, they're not couple. They're brother and sister.
Oh yeah.
And they're in their 70s or 80s or whatever.
Mhm.
And they
We've been killing bugs for years.
So how many? So many years the big giant bug guy comes, right? What?
Yeah,
It's every so often, a
Yes.
decade or some crap. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they say they think it comes more often, but they've only seen them so many years or whatever.
Yeah.
And it turned because then you get a flashback to the 1890 or something. You get a flashback to these people that moved there, and there was this logging. There's a logging company, and a family owns it basically, and they wanted the land back in. So they killed. It was a woman, her husband, and they had a kid.
Yeah.
And so they killed the husband and the kid.
Yeah.
And then the wife
performs witchcraft.
And puts a curse on
the town, basically.
And now, I guess it's if there's a criminal or something. I don't know.
I think it's just on a cycle.
Who it picks.
I think I don't know who it picks, but
and it picks him and turns him into a bug. But then this one gets weirder at the end because somehow they go into another dimension or go back in time, because he actually, the guy that is the bug that held up the store, they go back to the store when it's happening, and he jumps in front of the bullet to save the kid, and then he dies, and then the kid wakes up and the kid's okay or whatever, right? Like, we just spoiled the living crap
you're
out
bad
of
at this.
We did spoil the
But I'm
ending
trying
there.
to figure out, like, there was some kind of time travel, right?
There was
Or-
a bit of a time thing
some
going
kind
on
of
there.
timey-wimey.
And you could say it was that. I mean, it was definitely some type of living in a flashback in a way, and tweaking things, because by our, what would you say, criminal at the beginning sacrificing his life, it helped, I think, save the young boy that he accidentally shot. That's the way I took, you know.
So
doing
he
this.
did it at the beginning and not at the end?
No. I'm saying that the things happened as they happened, but he went into like this flashback, alternate dimension, whatever else, to sacrifice his own life in order to make up for the mistake he made,
Right.
you know, in real life, you know, or in the other realm, whatever you want to call it.
So in an alternate
universe,
world,
yes,
he saved the kid.
no, not in the alternate world. He sacrificed his life, and in this world, it ends up saving the kid, because his sacrifice it basically brings the kid out of his coma and starts coming there because, you know, a blood was spilt or whatever else. A sacrifice was made.
Sacrifice.
You know, so that's the way I felt.
Scott interpreted it.
That's how I interpreted it.
The choice has been made. Nobody chose. Sorry, I'm quoting Ghostbusters.
You should always quote Ghostbusters.
Nobody chose.
Any opportunity you can. Cool. Yeah, I thought this was really good. I thought
I did too.
it drew me into the characters. You really kind of connected with them, and then it had kind of a cool ending at the end with the girl. You know, she kind of had a happy ending a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
And so I don't know, kind of warmed your heart a little bit, other than the weird violence and killing throughout.
No, I hate bugs.
Kind of brought yeah.
It was just had this creepy feel. It was like, oh gosh, how could she ride the back of this bug or whatever?
It's got
And
it's got some weird kind of violence and creepiness, but then it's got kind of a heartwarming sort of story at its core. So.
It does have a heartwarming story, and I appreciate Lemire's speed. I think with telling a tale.
That's the best
you know,
part, right?
He knows how to use
This thing
the.
was like 6 or 7 issues, like oversized
like
issues.
48 pages.
This thing was
or
long.
60. Yeah, it was long.
It is long.
It
but
read fast, though.
It reads really fast. I feel like he's not overly telling a bunch of things in word bubbles. He's showing a lot through different through his use of the pictures. I like that he gives you. You know, I like the fact with some of the aspects of the backstory type things, you know, and going back in history, you know, I just don't know if I really, at first when that happens, I'm like, do I really need to know this? But it clears up some of these, you know, questions, or, you know, gives the supernatural feel that just feels right in a lot of cases for what he wants to tell in this story. So, because he's done that, you know, he did that in Sweet Tooth. And I think there was something else that he's done that before, you know, of trying to go back with things. I think he's maybe even that Arcana, he's jumped around a little bit in ways. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. I think he's starting to. We just haven't gotten very far yet.
So I like some of his use of the storyboard pictures and what he wants to tell in a fairly concise method.
Yeah, I love how he's not scared to, like, you know, have a page with just like pictures and no words, and just kind of let it just sort of sit and tell the story, and not feel the need to like put a bunch of narration or, you know, words or whatever. He's good at using silence to use more of a cinematic type to like tell the story. You know?
Yeah.
You know, whereas a lot of comics these days, just, you know, hit you over the head with everything.
Yes,
right?
and
but he lets
it all out.
He lets the story breathe. He lets the pacing kind of go at its own, what it needs to do to kind of build the mood and all that. He uses a really cool use of color too. Like the girl, it's mostly like gray tones.
I thought the same thing, but you
the girl
got
has
the
a
use
red
of red.
dress.
Why is that dress red? Do you think? Is it to let her stand out a bit in this in this character? Although he also, in certain cases, when it comes to like the gunshot wounds and things,
yeah, those are red too. And then he's got like the flashback where it's kind of in green, you know.
Yes.
And
well,
then,
and that's
then
really
when they
nice
jump
too,
into
because
the other dimension, it's kind of green.
Yeah,
too.
and so it lets you know without telling you too much that you're not in whatever
the
true
real
timeline.
time, right?
Yeah. And I always find that as a good benefit. Because we've read other stories, I think even here recently, I can't think of it, where, it'd make a jump, but yet the color didn't change or anything. And I was like, what happened?
Yeah, where are they at?
Is that
What's
that person? Who? What?
Yeah, so I mean, I think...
it takes me a second to catch up.
So just subtle little visual cues kind of help, set the mood and set the stage and kind of help the storytelling. So
Yeah.
Lemire's a master. What can I say?
He really is. I mean,
He's one of the
they're
best.
at first starting this off, I was a little wondering, especially because of the fact that I felt like his setup, I think initially maybe felt a tad slow, and I think more of it was just me questioning, what are you really doing and where are you really going with this? And I felt like, for him to get to that point of, past the overall general initial weirdness and this girl's strange acceptance of this bug, that getting through that, I think for me was a little bit of touch and go, because I'm like, what is really going on here? And and I think it's more of a case of not as much of a pacing issue as, do I really like this? Am I enjoying this? What is this? And then it gets to a certain point there where I'm like, oh, as he's bringing in the other characters and his overall world building, I think for this particular story, I really got in.
Cool. Did you like it, Don?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
Cool.